The government of Canada is about to introduce some very big changes to spousal open work permit eligibility. In this video, we'll go through those changes. Before we get started, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is on this video. If you need help with your Canadian immigration applications, feel free to get in touch for our paid immigration services. Now let's get into the details. A few months ago, Canada's Immigration Minister Mark Miller had announced that there will be new eligibility criteria for SOWPs, which will restrict spousal open work permits only to spouses of high-skilled workers. Now that announcement was made, but the official rule was not released for several months. Now recently, a Canadian lawyer, Stephen Murins, has obtained some documents from IRCC which shows the details of those proposed changes. And most importantly, those changes have been signed off by Minister Mark Miller, which means the rule changes have been finalized and they will shortly be released to the public. Before we get into the details of the proposed changes, let's understand the background of the current situation. So currently, spouses of workers in any tier level job can get a spousal open work permit, meaning the principal foreign national or the main spouse who has the work permit can have a job in tier 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Irrespective of the tier level of their job, their spouse is eligible for a spousal open work permit. As long as the spouse with the main work permit has at least 6 months of validity remaining on their work permit, their spouse can apply for a spousal open work permit. So that's the current situation. Any tier level, 6 months of validity remaining. Because these eligibility criteria were so easy to meet, so lots and lots of spousal open work permits were issued in the past several years. But now the government wants to reduce the number of temporary residents, so the criteria for spousal open work permits are being tightened. So according to the proposed changes by IRCC, which have been approved by Minister Mark Miller, only spouses of temporary foreign workers who are in high-skilled occupations will be eligible for a spousal open work permits. Now, typically, high-skilled jobs means tier 0, 1, 2, and 3. Tier 4 and 5 are considered low-skilled. This proposal goes one step further and says SOWPs should only be granted to spouses of workers who have tier 0, tier 1, and essential occupation jobs only. Now, tier 0 is management and leadership level jobs. Tier 1 is professional jobs such as doctors, lawyers, computer programmers, and scientists. And essential or shortage jobs could be healthcare, construction, and trades jobs. So this memo is very strictly restricting spousal open work permit eligibility to a very small set of workers, namely tier 0 workers, tier 1 workers, and workers in shortage occupations. We don't know what those shortage occupations are. They could be healthcare, trades, construction, and so on. Another very important restriction according to this proposal is that the principal foreign national's work permit must be valid for at least 16 months in order for their spouse to be eligible for an SOWP. This means that under the proposed rule, if you're a temporary foreign worker, your work permit needs to be valid for at least 16 months more. Only then your spouse is eligible to apply for a spousal open work permit. If your work permit is only valid for another 1 year, 10 months, 9 months, your spouse cannot apply for a spousal open work permit. Currently, this limit is 6 months. So today, if you have a work permit that's expiring in 7 months, 8 months, or 9 months, your spouse is still eligible to apply for an SOWP because your work permit is valid for another 6 months or more. When this will increase to 16 months, then a lot of spouses will no longer be eligible to apply for a spousal open work permit. So this is another huge restriction that the new proposal will introduce on SOWPs. So those are the 3 big changes to spousal work permit eligibility that are coming up shortly. Number 1, no spousal open work permits for spouses of workers in tier 4 and tier 5 low-skilled jobs. Number 2, even in high-skilled jobs, spousal open work permits are restricted to spouses of people who have tier 0, tier 1, or high demand occupations. Number 3, spousal open work permit can only be applied if the principal foreign national's work permit is valid for at least 16 months or more. So what this means is, if you're eligible for a spousal open work permit today, then apply as soon as possible. Don't postpone and don't delay, because these rules can be introduced at any time, and once they are introduced, you may no longer be eligible for a spousal open work permit depending on the tier level of your spouse's job or the duration of validity on their work permit. Just a reminder that this is still at the proposal stage and still has not become a rule yet, but it is highly likely to become a rule very soon. On this channel, we'll continue to bring breaking news and analysis of Canadian immigration. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Again, my name is Madhur Parashar. I'm a licensed Canadian immigration consultant. My contact information is on this video. Feel free to reach out if you need help with your Canadian immigration applications for our paid immigration services.